Hello, everyone. Welcome to another excellent race in our Metroid Prime Randomizer Tournament 2023. This time between Link64912 versus Dyceron. I'm joined with Samuel, and we've got our trackers Pierre and Ivy.
Indeed. Hello, folks. Good evening. Hopefully, everybody's having a wonderful night. I am very hyped to see this, especially since I haven't really seen these two race that much. So I'm just see what gameplay they have to offer. I'm aware that Dyceron did play Prime a lot, sort of quote unquote back in the day. Um, Although I haven't seen him play it as much lately. Alright. So we were a little bit late to this, so I believe we will be starting this race pretty shortly.
Yep, apologies for the wait. Some SpeedGaming technical issues have been resolved and some delays in the race, but all good. We're starting very soon. Both our
Indeed.
varieties runners have readied up or have been readied up for a little while, so we should be kicking off shortly.
Yep. Just a reminder, this is odd weekly this round, so we will have normal elevators and normal starting point. It will just be the random items and the routing. Regular routing. So yep. Expect to see pretty standard stuff, but Randomania lately has been putting on quite the show for us in terms of its seeds, so we may see some interesting variety. So Jeff, what are you expecting this seed? What do you think we're gonna get?
Well, the last, I think, three or four of the tournament seeds we've have had Phazon Suit in Chozo Ruins, which is, it goes against the rule that Phazon Suit's always in mines. So it, might be there. That's my bet.
Yeah, that has happened quite a bit lately. I find it really weird since Randovania, it feels like it tends to put Phazon Suit in mines, but I suppose based off of progression chain, it will vary. So nowadays, I'm more tempted to get Phazon hint than never. So alright, immediately, let's take a peek at Alcove, aka Space Jump location, by doing a quick scan dash on the side here. We're gonna quickly sync the streams back up together. And we get missile launcher. That is very standard. Probably just going to go to Artifact Temple. It's either you get missiles here and you go to Artifact Temple, or you get something else and you just go to Chozo. That's generally the two things that will happen.
Link deciding to peek the item.
Just
Some
missile.
missiles.
Alright, so we will not really need to come back here. Will we see an immediate hint reading or will we see a delay? I respect more of the delay of the hints, since it can actually lose you some time trying to write or read all the hints and or write them down, because it's likely you'll just find them on the way for the most part. I like reading them once I have a good chunk of items, like a lot of beams. No progression artifact temple today.
So our usual 6 artifacts.
Yep, making it so that it won't be too long of a seed. They do indeed start with charge beam. That is correct. This to make combat a lot more manageable, since without charge beam it can get pretty annoying and hairy. So no hint reading yet. I like this. We're gonna have to make our way to Chozo. I'm guessing progression is going to be in Ruin Gallery or Hive Totem. Looks like we're gonna see hints immediately.
Start typing.
Yep, shorelines, arbor chamber, fungal hall access, gravity chamber, elite quarters. Okay, security access A. All right,
Okay.
I will write that all down for y'all. That, well, those are some hints.
So we will be seeing lower mines today, that's for sure.
There we go. I'd like to note that we have an artifact in we have an artifact in shorelines that could be locked by plasma, arbor chamber, which is locked by plasma or doing a wall crawl, and everything else is locked by plasma or power bomb and ice. So, a lot of late artifacts, kind of unorthodox for a seed like this. It looks like Dyceron went to the bottom with Transport Tunnel B, but it is just a missile, I believe.
Yes, that is correct.
That is something that's really weird when doing a prime race like this, is if you get a missile early on, is to whether or not you check Transport Tunnel B immediately or you just go off to Chozo, because Transport Tunnel B does take a little bit of time to obtain, and it could very likely be nothing, and if it is, you will lose a little bit of time having to climb all the way back up, especially if you don't have space jump. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I said Fungal Hall access twice. Don't worry about that.
Looks like Dyceron's heading towards Rune Shrine.
It appears I forgot a fifth one artifact there because I wrote down Fungal Hall access twice, but that is okay. We will likely see it, and I'm going to assume that it was in mines anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ruined Shrine is nothing. Again, something you have to sort of commit to because there's a small chance it could be progression, but there's also a good chance that it's not, and there's only one check in there, and once again, morph and or bombs. Gravity chamber, thank you, Ivy. If you don't have morph or bombs, it is a little annoying having to backtrack. It's about whether or not you choose to lay these hints so you can come back with the ability to grab more checks in that room. And we'll keep the hints in the back pocket. Ruin Nursery is a dead check. We're going to see that Ruin Gallery progression.
It's Morph Ball? Or
Yep.
or perhaps Boost. Oh, it was
Yeah, that's
Boost.
boost. The smaller one is always boost. It's a little hard to tell from a distance, though. We've been seeing boost start quite often. Which is, well, not start, quote unquote, but boost early. That seems to be somewhat common lately. Speaking of Morph Ball, there it is. Mike, so
Nice.
if I were in this, I would have gone back to Ruin Gallery to do that wall boost. I hate isolating that check, and if you're able to do it relatively quickly, then it can save you some hassle. But yeah, I suppose we're probably going to find our next stuff in Watery Hall, mid-Chozo area. Again, we could commit to Ruined Shrine now that we have boost. There could be something good in the half pipe there. You are able to peek it there without space jump or anything. It is a bit of a risky slope jump, but you can do it. That looks like an E-tank in Vault, so no need to come back here.
Morph Ball bombs on Vault Ledge.
I never even noticed I was there.
No, it's pretty hard to see. It kind of blends in with the background there.
Well, Dyceron's going to go out of the way to grab this E-tank.
Yeah, the
And I
first
can kinda
two
understand that.
E-tanks are definitely the most important ones.
Okay, Dyceron, what the heck is this spring balling? But I forgot to mention is that we have Spring Ball on. That is a racer agreement. Mainly a quality of life edition, but you can do some interesting morph ball tech. And unfortunately, Link has hit the trigger for Hive Totem. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm gonna lose about a minute or so of time.
If he does choose to fight it, there is a way you can scan dash to left, and if you reload the room, uh, Hive Totem will just disappear. Alright, now that DCR has bombs, we are going to go remove that isolated check called Ruin Gallery very early on, and I'm a big fan of this. Honestly, though, with Boost and Spring Ball, you can go anywhere in Morph Ball. I think that's one of the things I like about it, but also one of the things that scares me when someone RAs to it.
Yeah. If you're familiar with the spring ball mechanics and you know how to boost around, you can pull off some wild movement, and it's very impressive and very scary.
But yeah.
So now with bombs, we've got 2 checks we can do in Ruin Nursery, and then a majority of the early Chozo checks as well.
Right. At this point, I think Ruin Nursery is a lot more appealing now, since we can get, excuse me, everything in there that is not wave locked. Yeah. Link took cares of Hive Totem and is on his way to grab bombs. More E-tanks. We are not complaining. Nice spring ball there to dodge the trigger, but unfortunately hugs the wall a little too much and slides in the trigger anyways. That can happen. It's closer to that tunnel than you think. More E-tanks. Okay.
A very healthy seed.
Yes. Nope, unfortunately we did not pick up the Ruined Shrine item, so that tunnel is actually blocked off by some collision. So, would you commit to Talon here, or would you commit to the rest of Chozo?
Talon. What other checks would we have in Talon?
We have Frigate Crash Site. Okay, in my head, I thought there was a lot more, but in reality, there's only that one check. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not in logic as well, I believe.
It is not. Oh dear.
So.
Dyceron just got hit by bees. Shoutouts to Captain ND for that joke. He's a big fan of that one. We do want to peek that tree item, because if there is something in there, we want to go back for it. And if we don't peek it, it could be a really straight check that we have no idea as progression. So this is a good thing to learn. Didn't need to be more to the left, I believe.
Yeah, there's just that bottom corner that you need to kind of clip in.
Right. You don't want to look down here. If you look down, you won't really get the move on. It's just a missile. Looks like Link is heading backwards to check Ruin Gallery. Do you think this is faster or slower than just doing it from the front?
Not sure. Sounds like something you need to time out.
I might. In hindsight, I should probably be creating a lot of timing videos for Rando. I think it would make a lot of people's lives easier. But I'm just I'm just too lazy.
So Dyceron heading farther into the early Chozo areas.
Yes.
Head towards Watery Hall and perhaps Burn Dome.
Yeah, those are definitely the places we need to go. I'm assuming we're going to find various suit here and or space jump. Varia is usually the next step, and you will almost always find it in mid or early Chozo. Thank you, Watery Hall Axis, for that vanilla missile. Was that a nothing, I believe, in Watery Hall?
I didn't get a good look at it.
Nope. It is a Wave Buster.
Choosing not to pick it up.
Let's hope Dyceron picks it up on the Let's hope it picks up, or Dyceron picks it up on the way out. There it is. So here's something I'm curious about, is whether or not you go straight to Magmor, or you actually do Burn Dome, Furnace, and or peek the... Yes! You picked it up. If you do the other Chozo checks, or you just go straight for Magmor. There's a Gravity Suit. Personally, I wouldn't try and go for that. I don't like this NSJ slope jump. Okay.
So
Oh, got it
second
relatively
try.
quickly, so nice job. That is a very tough slope jump. I actually had to
Yes.
ask about it, and Jeff here actually helped me out a bit with it, so.
Yes, it's deceptively hard. The space jump version is very easy, but yeah, NSJ is pretty precise. Now with
Indeed.
the gravity suit, not only being able to move in liquids easier, but also a nice bit of damage reduction.
Yeah, not bad. It may become very useful if we have an item in frigate, which is quite uncommon, and we know there's no artifacts in there.
So it looks like the burn dome play is what's going on.
Indeed. Makes sense. Looks like Link got beat up a little bit in Ruined Shrine there, not aware that the Morph Ball Tunnel does not open up unless you picked up the Ruined Shrine item. Alright, Zoid. Give us good RNG for Rando. Because normal RNG is just right before the music loops, and good RNG is well before them. Uh-oh. Dyceron getting a little pinned there by Zoid. That can actually happen easier than you think. Because
Yep.
Zoid will occasionally just stop turning the flamethrower, and you can be there, and he will not move, and you will not be able to move because you keep getting knocked back. Bit of an odd time to read hints, but I don't mind it.
Taking a second to double check that that was elite quarters.
Indeed. Yes, we are going to need X-ray for go mode, quote unquote. We are not quite there yet. Whoops. So you got bonked there a little bit, Zoid. Again, the knockback on Zoid is actually pretty bad sometimes. Also, this Zoid has been not good, to say the least. The music, if the music loops like that, then it was a slow Zoid. Even then, with Rando, it's supposed to be a lot shorter as well. So Zoid was definitely not very friendly today.
Yep. So I assume we'll do lower furnace while we're here.
Yeah.
No.
At the very
And
least, let's do the puzzle.
now the best
Deterministic
thing,
RNG should be on, yes.
now the best thing for Link to do here is after grabbing the various suit coming up, would hopefully be to skip Zoid. Would save him quite a bit of time since we know nothing is down there.
Indeed. THK is correct. He did check his hints on Zoid, so the time did loop as a result. That's a very important factor that I forbore. Alright, lower furnace is nothing. I'm assuming we're just going to do a save warp, check for your crash site, and then move on to Magmor? Assuming this is safety save before a save warp. Yep.
Yep. Always good to take at least one or two saves throughout the course of the run, because we've already seen it. People taking deaths. It's big time loss. So
Indeed.
the 1 second or so to take the time to save can end up saving your run.
Yep. I have to
Weird how
ask,
that works.
is Frigate crash site in logic if we don't have space jump but we have gravity and bombs? I don't
Uh,
believe it is, but I'm not sure.
no, I don't believe so. Oh, there's that X-ray
Oh,
visor.
well, that's nice to have. Won't need to worry about finding that for a while.
No, I believe the only thing that would be in logic NSJ is the grapple method.
Hmm. I do know that's in logic. I just wasn't sure whether or not just having gravity is indeed in logic.
It's a good question though. I'll double check that.
I had not considered using that sack as a scan point. Interesting. Alrighty, will we have Magmor with space jump, or will we see a very rare Fendrana Canyon space jump? I think that would be kind of funny. I believe that's the farthest in Fendrana we can get without space jump that's logical.
So what's the routing decision between heading from Twin Fires rather than Lava Lake?
So, Lava Lake, you obviously get that out of the way first. And you would have to commit going through, um, the early Talon sort of area beforehand. Whereas if you save warp to Twin Fires after doing these mid-Chozo checks, you get those out of the way, and you get a quick way to Magmor. If you hadn't done Ruin Gallery beforehand, I would say that doing Lava Lake is a better decision if you want to get Ruin Gallery out of the way quicker. But it is ultimately up to how you want to route and how the seed wants you to route. I'd like to take note that DCR is not checking the earlier Magmor checks and is going straight to TTA here, and maybe to Fendrana. Okay, just checking TTA. I'm going to do some NSJ strategies for getting up to Warrior Shrine. Nicely done. Spring Ball makes those jumps a little easier. Now we just have to stand on top of this small monitor here and dash off the puffer. That looks good. There we go. And that looks like a PB expansion. That is very
We
convenient
will
for this.
take that, yeah.
Yeah, now we can check this immediately. That is not in logic until we have space jump, and that also goes for these supers right here. We know that the tree is dead. What else can this put in logic? We have Crossway, possibly in the future. If we find Spider, MQB,
Shorelines
Shoreline.
might be
That could be the
the
artifact, correct?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, Spring Ball. You don't have to unmorph. Quite nice. Alrighty, I think we'll see our space jump right here. We see storage caverns, space jumps somewhat often, I'd say. Alright, looks like Link is also following behind DCR. I'm assuming this is also going to be a save warp. There's just a missile in storage cavern. Alright. So it has to be either a lava lake, Fendrana Fendrana Canyon is the only other thing that's NSJ in logic and shorelines. So I don't believe there's anything else besides, I don't know. If Spaceship was on Flagra, that would be something. Oh, nice grapple beam. Ooh. Actually, no. There's a slight chance that Spaceship could end in Magma Pool. Actually, no, you would need Spaceship to get this. Never mind. It's completely different. But regardless, DCR is committing to get this. You do have to do a pretty tough slope jump, since you need to slope jump backwards and then get the height to go forwards. Having X-ray makes it easier since you have more time on your jumps. Each platform will lower if you are standing on it, so you need to make your jumps rather quickly. Yeah, Meerkat is not a fan of the grapple beam. And personally, in this situation, I definitely would have gone out of the way to pick it up either. Because we need Space Jump logically to get that, so Space Jump can't be locked by grapple. I was thinking that Space Jump would be a Magma Pool, but you need Space Jump to actually get that item, so. And that is Flamethrower. Please pick it up. Come on. Oh, wow. This is so sad.
Yep, run doesn't count.
Indeed. So it looks like Link went and save warped, or did he go through the elevator? It's not certain. He either went through the elevator, realized that he didn't get Ruined Shrine, or he save warped and realized he didn't get Ruined Shrine. Save warped. Ooh. That is quite the commitment to go all the way back here after save warping to check for an item. We'll get a bunch of E in exchange, but not quite the progression we're looking for. Although I think by this point, Space Jump has to be in Fendrana Canyon. Or there's something in Fendrana Canyon that unlocks our Space Jump. I believe that's the only logical stuff left besides Flagra. But Flagra just seems... I mean, if Space Jump's there, then I don't know what to say. Yeah. 25 minutes in to an odd weekly seed and not having Space Jump is a little uncommon. Fen Canyon could definitely be Spider. We have Ice Ruins East that would be in Logic as a result, or Upper Dynamo. Or even Ghosts. Actually, no. Well,
No, not ghosts.
no, it could be Ghosts because we have supers.
Oh, we do it, but they're not logical supers.
True. Good point. Alright, is this the artifact? This is the artifact. What's up there? We are about to see
Was
you.
that ice beam? Nope.
Thermalizer. Okay. Well, we don't really need that, but we can route it in once we get plasma for the artifact. Scary thing is that Qmon SJ is getting scarily close to being in Logic if Fen Canyon has Wave Beam. Because believe it or not, you can logically get through late Magmor if you have... Well, actually, we don't have Spider, so that's be an issue. But if you had Spider, Wave Beam, and Grapple Beam, and... yeah, I think that's it. Maybe Gravity Suit. You can definitely do far fun. Dyceron's trying to do a very interesting peak here. Oh my god, that... amazing. That was Space Jump.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't tell if he's using Spring Ball for this. This is a very hard HBJ, but I'm assuming this likely indicates that Spider is Fen Canyon. Oh my gosh. Amazing
Very
job.
nice.
That is a very tough one. If he didn't use Spring Ball there, then props to him. That was very well done. Well executed. And it was fast enough that if Spider was Fen Canyon, and oh, that's Phase on Suit. If Spider was Fen Canyon, then I think it'll save some time with routing. Maybe just a little, even by a little bit. Just a note though, if you are doing that HPJ, use boost near the end of it because it will make your life a good chunk easier since it will give you some more height. But yeah, space jump and phase on suit in the same room is something you do not see every day.
Yeah, that's a very nice find, and thankfully, uh, Link's likely to stumble upon it as well.
Yes.
That means we might. I was gonna say we might have a fast seed here, but I forgot we have to go all the way to Omega Pirate. So
Yeah, that'll take some time. So Fen Canyon, I'm assuming, is going to be Spider Wall. I think that is Spider Wall. Yeah. Alrighty, so that puts Space Jump, Supers in Logic, and that Power Bomb. And that Grapple Beam, but that's the one that's the least important. So now we just have to figure out where the heck Wave Beam is. But before we do that, we have to go say hello to Ridley, because we picked up Wave Beam, or rather Spider Ball, in Fen Canyon, and that triggers this cutscene to be here. So we have to just wait here while we see the oversized Ridley shadow. We could very well see a vanilla Wave Beam.
just realizing we could also pick up that thermal right now.
Yes, Dyceron is not interested, but I'm assuming is going to get on the way back. Just gotta do some standy bowls here on the statue. Allows you to climb this room extremely quickly. So really our go mode here is literally just our beams. We don't need anything else. That looked like an E-tank.
I believe so.
So let's play the game of where is our wave beam? Or just ice beam, to be fair. That could logically open up something. Is Link gonna pick up that flamethrower? I'm not sure. Oh, he's trying to get it.
Might not
Ah,
know what the
gave up on
standable
it.
is, though.
Yeah, there's a small standable. Root Cave could very well be our progression. We do have an Arbor Chamber artifact, so we might as well wall crawl to get that out of the way.
Let's see Upper Furnace progression.
Upper Furnace. You see, I kind of wish DCR had peeked that on his way there, actually for both runners. I don't like leaving that check alone, so checking early just feels like the right decision.
Which one's that? The Upper Furnace?
Yes. By using the standable on the spare track and just taking a peek taking a peek on it. Upper Dynamo is indeed logical. DCR is going to peek Root Cave first. This is well within the logical chain.
Likely grab the Arbor Chamber artifact while we're here as well.
Yep.
Using a very easy out of bounds.
If you ever want to learn how to wall crawl, try that one. Alright, we get main power bombs. That's not
our
technically
signal.
progression. Well, PB expansions, I believe, are accounted for logic now, but...
They allow you to use them, but you still require mains for the logical chain.
Hmm.
I'm fairly certain.
Uh-oh. DCR, please be careful. See, if you're in a sticky collision like this, while you're out of bounds, it's a little scary, especially for... Ooh. Good lord. Because if you morph in certain spots... There we go. If you morph in certain spots, you will possibly get stuck in collision. And normally if you're interacting with collision, the game will check to see if you are stuck, and they will try to find a way to reposition you. But if the room is not currently transitioned, aka Dyceron was in Arbor Chamber, but the game thought he was still in Root Cave, the game will not check to see if you get stuck. So, if you get stuck, then it's a soft lock. So, good on DCR for managing to pull it off there. And avoiding a bit of a narrow soft lock. So I guess from here we go upper dynamo, maybe upper furnace. We're actually quite low on checks, so I think our logic here is either Flagra, Ghosts, Magma Pool is also doable, but it looks like DCR is opting for reverse Flagra. And believe it or not, this is actually quite fast, especially since we have power bombs. If he is aware of the trick to lay a power bomb and damage multiple bomb slots at once, you can take care of that boss instantly if you are capable, or just make it a lot shorter.
So on our left, Link now in Vendrana, going to be finding a bunch of majors on the way. It's a very dense early fen with thermal, spider ball, space jump, and phazon suit.
Yeah, certainly where the game wants us to be. But now we have to take a step back and head back to Chozo for whatever's next, which I'm assuming will be our wave beam.
Yeah, wave beam definitely does provide the most right now.
Speaking of which, DCR is looking like he's trying to line up a PB to damage all 4 bomb slots. If there's no cutscene here, then he'll get it. Ooh, didn't get all of them, but I at least got 2. I heard at least 2 damage triggers. Might have gotten 3. Can't tell if the one in front of Flagra. I believe that was 2. So if we manage to get both of them here, then Flagra will just die instantly. It looks like what he's trying to do is to wait for the Morphball to stop rolling in the middle. Oop, unfortunately, only got 1 there. We're gonna have to watch one more cutscene. Still definitely faster than doing it from the front.
But yeah, how long is each of these cutscenes? What, 15, 20 seconds, something like that?
You could say something like that. However, another really big time save is the last cutscene when you kill Flagra, is that the game sort of gets confused, and you can skip the cutscene of Flagra dying. So if we wait for the intro cutscene, oh, it looks like DCR did not do that. If you wait for the intro cutscene for Flagra to pop up, Flagra is dying. So if that sort of intro cutscene starts when Flagra is supposed to pop up, it'll just transition to that Flagra death animation, and you'll actually be able to skip that death animation because the game still thinks you're on that original cutscene. So that way you can skip this long cutscene here that DCR has to watch, and just immediately leave and get the item. Looks like Link has spotted that spider ball. Probably understands what he has to do now. Fortunately, just a missile on Flagra, but we still have the opportunity for ghosts. It's very much in logic. It's going to be very fast with X-ray and supers. Shooting the ghost here, fun fact, actually makes it spawn a little bit quicker than its contemporaries. So before the fight, if you start out with that, you'll be able to get some shots off a little earlier.
So dispatching each ghost with a charge shot and a super.
Yep. Makes very quick work.
And are we rewarded?
Nope. Just a missile. Albeit these checks were rather fast, so DCR did not lose that much time. So Link has to be slightly cautious with his health, but he does have a save station below him, so he should be fine. Accidentally ran into some enemies on the way out. Looks like DCR is opting for going back to the front side. Likely we are going to go to Magma Pool, I'd say, should be the first check, maybe?
Yeah, I
We
would
only
take
have
Magma
3 checks
Pool
remaining.
first, and then do Upper Dynamo because you're closer to a save station.
Indeed. Alright, we just have to do an infinite boost to this wall. Since we are coming through the backside, the collision there is a little weird on the rear end rather than the front. So if we just keep boosting through it, we eventually just get through.
On our left, Link making the correct choice, finding his space jump boots in
There we go.
East.
Probably going to be happy about that. Alright, we don't have to use this. Oh, there's Wavebeam. It's actually rather convenient because now we can just immediately take care of training chamber access and training chamber. So now we have a lot of the game opened up to us. That is...
I don't think we're gonna.
Sorry,
get spread of
folks.
the seed. Yeah.
No, I spread of the seed. Now is, instead of where's our wave beam, it's where's our ice beam. Will we go to Tower of Light or Tower Chamber? I suppose not. Still have a few checks over this way. Dynamo. And Upper Furnace, Crossway, and Antechamber. I'm going to hope that this save instead of a warp to start. Yes. Okay, gonna leave Dynamo alone for now. It is an isolated check, and it could be anything at this point, but I can understand leaving it out.
Yeah, with Wave being being our last progression, probably favoring those the Wave beam checks first.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, that means if Dynamo is something, it's going to be quite the trek to get back there.
yes. That's always what scares me about it, and leaving checks alone. Upper Furnace, I want to say that's nothing, but or a missile, I couldn't tell.
Nothing important, that's for sure.
So I just noticed that DCR never took the time to grab Thermal Visor.
Nope.
Found a little odd. I believe that was a PB expansion in Crossway. Don't need that because we have main power bombs, so we are in comfortable amount of power bombs. Looks like Link was having a little trouble with the hazards of Monitor Station there. There are a lot of enemies in that room, and they all really don't like you.
Yeah, the turret specifically.
Yeah. So it looks like DCR is going to be pushing for Antechamber here. If it's not that, then I'm guessing it's a warp to start to go to labs, or just going to bite the bullet and backtrack all the way to Tower of Light. Ooh. We get to see another complex bomb jump here. HBJ. Oh. Accidentally got a little too much height there. Bonked off the top. That looks better. Nice. Nicely done. It is a solid HBJ, and it saves a decent chunk of time since that cutscene to trigger the wave slot and have the statue throw you. It takes a lot longer than you'd expect.
Yeah. Not only that, but you also are able to skip the ghost fight, the 3 ghost fight, since it's activated by activating the wave path.
I believe so, yes. Link just grabbed supers, so probably realizes that we have to go back to Chozo.
Vipron, Wave was in Magma Pool.
Indeed. So DCR took a warp to start. Where do we go now? Because if you wanted to do Tower of Light, you would have done it earlier. Okay, so DCR is... what's this going to be?
Going-
Workstation to...
Yeah, back of Vendrana, maybe, yeah, do the quarantine cave checks. We also got to realize that thermal is in logic for us now, so anything to do with thermal conduits is available.
Correct. This seed seems a little too ripe for a Tower of Light ice beam. It's sort of scaring me a little bit, but we'll see. It may just be complete waste of time, and Dyceron's plays maybe 10,000 IQ, 4 parallel universes ahead of me. Alright. Looks like Link is interested in grabbing that grapple beam, so I'm assuming going to be... Oh, Link doesn't have X-ray. So, going to be doing this without it. Is going to manage... this way. Nicely done with those dashes. You can traverse that room really quickly. Alright, well, we have a workstation ice beam. We did see that in our last race. It tends to be a pretty inconvenient location for some routing and really good for others. Nope, that is just a missile. Hey, congratulations, Link has picked up the flamethrower. I agree. I don't think leaving Tower of Light alone was the best idea. Artis is also looking pretty interesting right now, given that we have Supers, Thermal, and obviously Wave. Hey, will we see a Cumon Ice Beam? Nope, we see nothing in Cumon.
It was an ice-colored nothing.
Yeah,
Does
that was
count?
pretty neat. Sure. Just supply your beam with nothings. Oh, it looks like DCR has decided to take on Mr. Rockman. Or Pebbles, whatever you want to call him. He's got a lot of names. A lot of aliases.
Thankfully, power bombs make this fight much, much quicker.
Indeed, along with bombs. However, Dyceron could have had thermal for this, so it's a little inconvenient. Alrighty, first phase done and dusted. Alright, I believe Link has obtained X-ray, so no need to go looking for that once we need it for go mode. Did DCR peak Chapel? Yes, I believe it was an energy tank. All I know is that he was not interested. Although he did not have wave at that point, so... Fortunately, Thardus is not giving us many opportunities to land some snipes.
So Link on our left, climbing Root Cave, will find main PBs.
Yes, that would be nice, especially since prime drops are by far the biggest troll in the entire history of Metroid. That might be a bit of an exaggeration, but this is speaking from experience. We're running a little low on missiles. Interesting that DCR is opting for power beam spam. Link is doing the Arbor Chamber out of bounds as well. Now we're on the last phase. Oh, Link, that was a little scary, but thankfully he has landed on a standable.
Yeah, that was a lucky bailout,
Though
I
you need
think.
to be cautious here because it is very easy to soft lock. Thankfully, I think he is okay. It's a little dicey. Thardus has been slain. This is why, if you're not too familiar with the collision in Arbor Chamber, I recommend just transitioning the room. It's pretty easy, and it'll give you a lot better of an idea. Uh-oh. Alright, Thardus was dead. So, sorry folks, no required Thardus today. Looks like Link is having some trouble there with Arbor Chamber. He is very close to where he needs to be, but he has not found a standable to get there. If Ice Beam was here in Ruin Courtyard, that would be very nice. Fortunately not.
Thankfully, not many more places ice can be other than labs. Or at least our progression. DCR is routed pretty well, and for that, that's really the only place that we can go now.
I'm still very concerned about Tower of Light.
Oh, that's true. Yep, that was a check that was skipped. And its Tower of Light seems to be favored by Randomizer, at least from what I've seen. I've seen a lot of progression there in these past races.
Yep, I'm a fan of it personally. I love climbing that room without having to do the puzzle. It's a good one. If you are interested in getting a little bit faster with your Prime gameplay, I'd recommend learning that.
Yep. Also allows you to skip the very high missile requirement.
Yes, of 36.
Yeah.
And if you're a hard mode fan, it'll take, I believe it's, I know it's 60
Double, I
plus.
think. Yeah.
So theoretically, it should be 72
72,
missile requirements.
Yeah, but I don't think that hard mode is accounted for, so
It is not logical.
yeah, so you would have potential for soft locking then.
I'm curious if you can do a racer's agreement for hard mode here in this tournament, and if anybody would be willing to even do that. Okay, it looks like Link is finally going down to the door to transition it.
Hard mode on Armory Hunt when you only have
Oh yes,
you
that
only have
little
20,
H, that little
25
H.
health per retake.
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be
be fair. Okay, it appears that Link is just doing the wall crawl again without transitioning the room, which is peculiar. May not be aware that you can transition it. Alright, this is going to be a scaling observatory. We do have to do a somewhat difficult dash here, but nicely done.
There we go.
I'm assuming, I think observatory was nothing. Alright, Link has decided to transition the room, and like I said, that gives you a much better idea of where you need to go, so able to do it quite well. Plus, if you get stuck, the game will actually check to make sure you get unstuck. Alright, so we're just going to skip a pirate trigger here in control tower. There we go. It's a relatively small rectangle in front of the door. However, there is a open space allowing you to slowly inch forward and just jump up and dodge the trigger. You can also do it without space jump by doing a bomb space jump. Fortunately, DCR is going to be whiffing a few of these shots. There's a lineup for it, but in my opinion, some people just like to get a feel for it. That looks better. There we go. Alright, now Link is returning to Chozo and will likely run into Wave Beam eventually.
Yeah, likely to do Tower of Light, I'd imagine.
Yeah, if we find our progression there, then that could be a really good opportunity for Link to catch up. Albeit DCR has done a lot more checks and chunks that may contain something that Link might consider progression.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the decision making Link does once he gets Wave Beam that will determine how much time save slash time loss we get.
Unfortunately, also skipping Tower of Light for now.
Yep.
Sorry, you don't have to scan the Metroid. You just
Yes, you do have to approach it and be somewhat close to it to actually damage it with a missile. Oh, that's a power bomb
yes,
expansion.
Baha, thank you.
Our only chance
Link does
is
not have
research
waves, so
core.
can't go to Tower of Light.
Yeah, we will have to grab it first.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
Is research core going to be our progression? Nope. Labs was completely dead. Alright, Link has found Wave Beam. So I think my Tower of Light worry has become apparent. Trust me, folks, you don't want to skip that check. It's a very, very important check.
Deciding not to peek training chamber?
I guess not. Maybe Link doesn't know that you can peek it without triggering the ghosts.
Even then, it seems weird. You've got all the capabilities to get that item.
If you don't know you can peek it, then you probably want to avoid having to fight them. Training chamber is a bit of a lengthy check. Oh, looks like Link is turning around to do Tower of Light.
Gravity was in lower watery hall.
Yes. Rather ironic if you think about it.
Yeah, so DCR, you did it NSJ, and I don't believe Link scanned the item.
Yeah, Link just kind of ignored it. But yeah, in this case, Link is doing at the very first thing that we're supposed to be doing, whereas DCR is leaving it for the very last.
Yeah, so our runner's
So-
actually syncing up a little bit here in the game, but yeah, DCR very much
Whoops.
ahead with the amount of knowledge of the other checks that he's completed.
Yeah. Link unfortunately falling down a bit there. Thing is, DCR's movement has been quite superior to Link's, so is able to catch up even with being or doing all these checks that resulted in nothing. He's able to already like he's surpassed. So movement does a lot for you. Even if you pick the wrong routing decisions, you can make up a lot of time just by being faster than the opponent. Alright, DCR opting to just do the puzzle to check the item instead of climbing it. Will we see it? There it is! There's our Tower of Light Ice Beam, folks.
That's
I'm not gonna say I called it, but I called it.
Didn't someone run the odds of that recently, and it was fairly high?
Maybe. I believe there was some big changes with progression being in Shozo ever since Tower of Light was put into logic with expansions logical. Okay, DCR. I'm assuming by all the power beam shots there was expressing displeasure that this was sort of a last location of Ice Beam. So my question is, if you're Link, do you do these checks that you had with Wave that you could have had Ice for? Like, do you go for labs at all? Or do you just... I'm not even sure. Because by this point, Plasma doesn't have many locations left because we've already done so many wave checks. Well, actually, we've done all the wave checks. Where artifacts, I actually have them copied down right here. Currently, the only one we have is Arbor Chamber from both runners. Speaking of artifacts, looks like DCR
Yep.
needs to also double check.
So it might be a good time to route in that gravity chamber artifact, get some of those far fen checks.
Indeed. If you are looking for Plasma, but you have artifacts in Farfendrana, and in this case it's even better since we know Phazon Suit's locked by Plasma, so it can't be Storage Cavern, or Storage Cave rather, it's a very good idea to just do Farfendrana before anything, because you can get all the Farfen checks out of the way, and the one Farfen check you cannot get, you know is not good, at least in this case, and you can also get the artifacts out of the way, means you will... It's just very good routing. Yes, Phazon Suit is in Ice Ruins East Ice. So Plasma locked. It looks like... I just saw the sky of Chozo, so I thought Link was out of bounds, but nope, just doing Tower of Light climb. Alright, will Upper Dynamo have progression? Nope. But I do appreciate DCR getting that check out of the way. Also, nice instant Amorph there. There is one you can get. It's not very consistent, but when you do get it, it's pretty cool. Alright, Link spotting that Ice Beam. Probably going to be pretty pleased that found it so early. You know, as soon as we got Wave, we found Ice Beam. Literally the next check. Well, kind of the next check. We did have Training Chamber. But finding it this early, I imagine Link would be happy about this.
So it looks like Dyceron's maybe routing to Life Grove.
Yes. I'm not so sure how I would feel about that. But, I don't know, from here, I guess you could, from Life Grove, you go and save warp and do Farfen. I don't know about committing to mines early. Technically, if you find Plasma there, and then you go back to Fen, I imagine it would route easier, because you can get Phazon Suit immediately. But we do have... I'm not sure what provides more checks. If upper mines... Actually, yeah, I guess we do have more checks in mines than Farfendrana, don't we? Just a missile and all the others.
Thankfully, as well, going in from the top, I think it's still easy to route to Farfen after. I guess no, you can't unless you find Plasma along the way. You can't get to lower mines. Never mind.
We can route Farfen to BBC. That is true. I just always like doing Farfen first because the only thing you're leaving behind is Phazon Suit, and that's not even in Farfen, it's early Fen. Alright, gonna be jumping off this Stone Toad. This one is a little bit more uncooperative compared to the one on the left. We have to do a bit of a tighter jump here. We got it though. Nicely done. Looks like DCR is just going to peek over Rome Cavern, I'm assuming? Didn't even bother to check Antechamber, I should say.
I believe he checked that on his first pass, and it was a missile.
Oh, that's right. You're correct. Forgot he came here before or after he got Wave. Frigate seems like a weird option here. That place is rather uncommon for progression. DCR did get Hall of the Elders. I should mention that. It was a missile. Okay, DCR was just checking over Rome Cavern, or not. On second thought, maybe he is going for Frigate. I mean, there's not much you'd be doing if you weren't. Yeah. So is Link making his way back to Phendrana, it looks like? That can only be what I'm assuming. This frigate play isn't that bad. I kind of respect it, but at the same time, frigate tends to be very absent from what Randomizer wants you to do. At most, it feels like it's artifacts, but we'll see. Plasma is here. That's pretty big for Dyceron. Not logically, Grav Suit is not locked behind itself because the slope jump in Watery Hall is a beginner slope jump. So it's beginner logic. I'm just gonna climb this room. Gotta deal with these Reaper Vines. They are quite annoying. Nice little standable there. That looked like Biohazard just a missile.
Looks like Link's maybe heading to Farfen and workstation, Magma workstation.
Really should have just gone to landing site via save warp or through the town elevator to get there. Going through the front of Magmor is a lot slower. Will we see a Hydroxis Tunnel Plasma? I think that would be rather comedic. So we're in another one of these cases of Plasma Go mode. That seems to happen quite a lot. Nope, there's me tank. I think that's vanilla. But correct me if I'm wrong.
No need to correct you.
Alright, so we get Life Orb now. Careful not to get bonked by the seedlings. Those things have aimbot, and they will hit you very often.
Nice running through labs too, so you don't have to do fire skip. I assume Dyceron can do that easily, but, you know, one less trick you have to pull off.
It cuts out the middle, man.
Yeah.
That's a missile. No plasma just yet.
Is Link going for the vanilla plasma beam?
I don't believe so.
No.
Alright, Life Growth Tunnel is a missile.
So would you agree with skipping plasma processing here? We've got all the garments.
It depends on how quickly you can do it, but generally I think this is perfectly fine because we have so many checks that are opened up to us with Ice Beam now in tow. We have obviously Life Grove, some of Far Chozo, Far Phendrana, a lot of upper to mid mines. So it makes perfect sense why you just skip that check outright. But if you are very quick about it, it can be a check that only takes you, what, like maybe 40 seconds to get, which isn't a huge time commitment. But I feel like going to Farfendrana is the theoretically smarter play. So if we do find Plasma in Farfendrana, then that's quite big for Link. That main quarry. Ooh, MQA Plasma, that's a little rude. Link is also going for Thardus. That is, weird. Also, I also just noticed that Link also did not take Farmel. Farmel is feeling very lonely today. Everybody's ignoring him.
Yeah, Link would have had to go back after grabbing supers though, so it is a little out of the way.
I'm not sure why Link just didn't go to Farfendrana. A lot more easy checks to do there, along with getting the Gravity Chamber artifact. You do not want to use Wave Beam for Thardus here. Wave Beam actually deals less damage than Power Beam. At least fully charged. And even uncharged as well, if you're good enough with spamming the Power Button.
Yeah.
Or the Power Beam, excuse me. DCR and the Shadow Pirate being a little too friendly with each other.
He just wants a hug. Powerbomb on Thardus, unfortunately a little too early, and the second phase does not get as much benefit from laying a powerbomb.
Indeed. I agree with that, Baha.
Yeah, that seems like a good play, because that ends you back at the quarantine cave elevator.
DCR accidentally confusing which scan point is the platform, and I do not blame him. Whoops. These elite research turrets really suck. And there's a lot of enemies in here. 2 pirates at the bottom, 2 wave beam pirates, 4 turrets, a power beam pirate, along with that elite pirate. Enemies on top of enemies. So the upper elite research item was an E-tank, so we are out of here.
Hi, Calvin.
Oh, DCR just observing how attractive Calvin was, so I had to give him a little bit of a scan there. That is a good way to remember which spot you're supposed to scan. I might copy that. Alright, will Vanilla Grapple have what we're looking for? Nope. I do respect how thorough DCR's been at the very least. Because we don't seem to have any isolated checks anymore. Except for Farfen, if you would consider that isolated. At the very least an isolated area.
At least you can route that in pretty easily after the PPC elevator.
Yeah. That is a bit of a saving grace. Not elite control access. So will DCR go down towards MQA, Essential Dynamo, and whatnot, or will we take a turn to go to PPC and Farfen? Or just maybe PPC? Judging by the fact that he killed the pirate, I think we will see PPC.
Yeah, I like that better, because if you now decide to do Farfen, if you kept going down mines, you'd have to backtrack out of it. Now you can at least go to Farfen, hopefully find plasma. If you don't, then you are gonna know it's in the lower part of mines.
Personally, Baha, I think this route proves the opposite in the sense that in this case you will have to take a double dip to mines if you don't do Farfen first. Because if you do Farfen first, you will not have to go back there regardless of what you find. You will just have to go back for Phazon suit. So that's why I see it. Anyways, I think the route DCR is doing is perfectly fine. I just think Farfen is ripe for some progression. Vent shaft is not it. That is a good point about routing in shorelines. That is a little bit tedious. Although if Plasma's not here, it's going to be quite annoying. Regardless. DCR, you have X-ray. Okay, just you can show off your sniper skills anyways. Nicely done.
Aimbot hacking. Oh,
oh, there it
that
is.
Plasma beam. Excellent.
Alright, so this will definitely work out in DCR's favor now. We can just push through the rest of mines, then go back through PPC, and do our Farfen checks, grab Phazon suit, warp to start, and finish the game. Link is doing labs, which unfortunately we know does not have anything of use. Looks like we have a confusing maze this time around. Not exactly a good maze. Alright, just gonna do a quick safety save.
Yep, fill up on health as well.
I'm also going to be going to this with 4 power bombs, which is definitely an optimal amount. You know, now that I think about it, we can just grab thermal visor on our way to get Phazon suit. I imagine it would make Essence a good chunk easier.
Yeah, since Therma's right next to the elevator, or the
Oh.
save. Might as well
Oh my gosh, that Metroid just get down, Mr. President, the door. It looks like Link is attempting the observatory dash, but the pirates are making it a little bit annoying for him. Alright, so what artifacts do we have to grab while we're down here? We have to get Fungal Hall access and Elite Quarters.
Yeah.
So, all it is now is this good old mines movement. Whoops. Accidentally slipped. Gonna use a small stand wall there to recover though. Uh-oh. Ooh, the Hunter Metroid didn't get him. Looks like Link is struggling with this dash here. Just gonna opt to do this room vanilla.
Yeah, a deceptively hard dash when you're getting used to dashing.
Indeed.
Could have also been avoided by routing in labs backwards. But
Yeah, I'm not sure why Link didn't do that actually. given that we had Farfen accessible to us as well. Seems like a bit of an oversight. Alright, DCR gonna grab some missiles for those crates on his way out. Oh, but unfortunately, only health drops. Alright, and time for the moment you've all been waiting for. We got our OP fight. Looks like we're not doing super strats for this fight. Maybe trooper skip? I'm gonna have to lay a PB right under him here. Ooh, I don't know if that'll work. Yeah, just a little too early, or late rather.
Unfortunately, the power beam pirates without any missiles.
Oh, nice collateral there. I don't think you're gonna be able to get a full charge plasma shot off in time there. Yeah, unfortunately this is not optimal. You want to hit him with 2 fully charged plasma shot, but no uncharged in this case. Yeah, with DCR just down that second pool, you optimally want to also do on the first pool. Looks like DCR got a little confused there about power bombing. Normally you would power bomb a pool and then quickly boost to the opposite pool, but wasn't sure which one he wanted to go for, so unfortunately OP got the armor regenerated in time. It is in a good spot for getting a lot of armor plates with this animation going on. Nice. And attack, that'll be a... Oh, unfortunately missed. Nice job on Link's part, skipping the pirate trigger. One more OP phase to go. We get better pirates. Nope, we're back to the Calvins. Oh, one plasma pirate there. The black sheep among the litter.
Dyceron's health getting a bit low. We'll have to avoid these
Careful.
shots from the beam pirates.
Oh, and got a little bit debated there by OP appearing on the right side instead of the front.
Luckily, one more charge power plasma beam shot should. Yeah.
There we go. And OP is done. So now we just have to make our way back to Fen, get Gravity Chamber, and get Phase on Suit. And we're good to go.
Would be missing one more artifact. Got Gravity Chamber artifact.
Did he forget
and-
something? Yes, Shorelines has an ice artifact.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's like Link thought there was a second pirate trigger there, but there is not. Next time you skip the front pirate trigger, just go to the other door, you'll be fine. Nice nothing in PCA. Oh. DCR, you kind of need to stand on that. You might not want to shoot it out. Looked like he was looking for a power bomb drop, but he does not actually need one. Even if you have 0 power bombs, there is a guaranteed power bomb drop from one of the Zoomers. I believe that was a missile. Not sure why DCR wants it so much. Alright, see you, pirates. Plasma beam does a lot of knockback to them, so you can just do that, and they won't bother you anymore. I just gotta use some standables to climb PPC here.
Very nicely done.
Yep, very solid. It's a pretty cool R jumping into the grapple there. I'm a fan of that. Looks like Link is wrapping up labs here. Just gonna scan research core.
So the unfortunate thing for Link here is the gravity chamber artifact. If it's at the top, don't have plasma, and if it's at the bottom, don't have gravity suit. So hopefully they know
Oh,
the
that's
tricks
right.
if they're going that way.
I never thought about that, to be honest. Those are pretty difficult tricks to learn.
Yeah, both
I
are
believe they're all
at
advanced.
advanced category. Yeah, so definitely not in logic. So you're expected to grab those items.
Yes, top one, you need grapple and plasma. Bottom one, obviously, is gravity suit. Alright. Now all DCR has to do is finally dip into Farfandrana, spoke it to gravity chamber. I think the fastest way to get there is going straight to the bottom, and yeah, looks like what DCR is doing.
Yeah, especially with gravity suit, you can since you can boost along this room.
Yep, you get to blaze through this room. It really sucks to go through this room when you don't have boost or gravity suit.
Yeah, it is a long walk, especially when the gel zaps don't cooperate.
Gotta be a little cautious there about rolling. Do we have a top artifact? We do indeed. Nicely done. Didn't even have to use the R button there. Now, so shorelines, plasma, and final losses. Hopefully grabs Thermalizer this time. Thermalus Essence is definitely doable, but it's slightly inconvenient.
Yeah, and when it's right there, it's not you're not losing too much time since you already have to be in shorelines.
Yep. Whoops. Flickerbat got a little too friendly with DCR there.
Yes, these far fen rooms are not ones you want to fall down.
Indeed. They're very movement heavy. And they're also very punishing. Something you can do here if you really want to get to the standable is use X-ray visor and spam power beam shots at the flicker bats. It's a little bit slow, but it's still fast enough so that you can get the brand standable. Since doing the vanilla standables, or just where you're actually supposed to go, it's actually quite slow compared to that. So,
Seems like Link's save warping. Interested to know where he is going to head next.
probably realizes it's mines, or maybe wants to go through frigate. Not certain. Either that, or he's going to attempt bar skip to go into mines. I don't believe. Has he done anything in Far Shozo?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, that may be what's next then. Nice little E-tank there to grab. Not really necessary, but nice to have. Okay, we are indeed getting thermal. Barely missed that Arjun. Isar's move is pretty solid. It's definitely won him a lot of favors in this race.
Yeah, the last locationing of Ice Beam did a lot of checks, but still ended up actually reaching it before Link did. So
Yeah.
I had the advantage of the knowledge as well as being still slightly ahead on that check.
Yep. Movement really does you a lot in this game. Alrighty, Phazon suit finally acquired, even though it was so early in we found it so early in the race. It's the last thing we're picking up. Taking one last ship save for good measure.
Yeah. Also helps
Let's
to get
go
the
Cyber.
refills on the on our ammo.
Indeed. Also nicely done that ship dash.
It appears that Link's cropping may be slightly off. I'm noticing that the one is poking out of the out of the timer and into the gameplay.
Yeah. Although I can assume he's an hour and 29 minutes in rather than 29 minutes in.
Yes. That one is so nicely cropped out, though. You know.
Yeah. No flyby skip. What? Okay.
That's what you thought.
Okay. Just FYI, that is a frame perfect trick. You have one frame where you can hit Ridley right as it's about to do its flying animation, that you can get flyby skip. I, like the idiot I am, assumed that that was too late. Just very well done by Dyceron. Very impressive.
We'll see if it's intentional in the interview later.
Well, something tells me that all flyby skips are quote-unquote intentional, but getting it is just, I don't even know what to say. It was just out of left field. Very, very cool. We all try to get it. Most people tend to not have an indicator for it, but usually just kind of assume where it's going to be. And in these rare instances, you can pull it off.
Cropping is fixed.
There we go. I think DCR's been playing pretty solidly, although his routing, technically speaking, could have been better with the last location of Ice Beam. Committing or getting Tower of Light out of the way earlier, I think probably would have been the better play. But all things considered, really well done.
Left Link fighting the ghosts in Furnace.
Rather
Why?
peculiar because the doors do not lock with these ghosts, so you do not have to deal with them.
You can also, if you use the item, which I believe it's missiles, no reason to ever need to climb this river.
Right.
Looks like they're seeing that now.
That is an ice door. Power beam on this the start here isn't actually all that bad. With supers, it makes power a lot nicer of phase. One with super missiles here, wow. That's the brave one. I'd say it's a lot easier to do the charged power shot first and then follow up with the super missile shot.
Very quick ice phase.
Nice. Exo becomes a lot faster and a lot easier when you hit all those shots. Another power start. Not really a bad thing. Oh, timed that missile a little too late. Doing a really good job of hitting all these shots. Oop. Missed that one by a little bit. Power Ice Wave Plasma is some weird RNG. I'd say it's good RNG, definitely, though. Oh. Wave Buster now? Nope. Alright. On to the subchamber that everybody knows and hates. Okay. Ice Beam is nice here. Oh. Okay. Plasma Beam works too. Nice. Hitting that shot there saves a lot of time.
Just double switch there.
Yep. You can just spam pellets here. It doesn't take much damage to get to the next phase. Nice. Doing a really good job of getting all these shots in. Oops, couldn't tell what to lock onto there for a second.
Get the lovely Essence fight. On our left, Link is working his way through Life Grove. Unfortunately,
Yep.
will not be rewarded.
Yeah, not sure if he plans to do bar skip to round into lower mines, or just to mines. Oh, this is an awkward spot for Essence. Don't know if it's in a spot to get full skipped. Oh, it definitely is now.
Yep. Yeah.
He might. I think he's fine there.
Yeah. Good idea to wait to get the reposition there before starting to fire those shots.
Yeah. There we go. Good start. That's a good spot for Essence. Should be a clean 3 pool. Everything goes well. Nope. I'm kind of a little bit of trouble with that R jump there. It's not looking to the side quite enough there. You cannot just hold forward and hold R. You will not get very far. Whoop. Looks like we may have to do maybe 4 pool skips. 5. Alrighty, and that is time. GG.
137.27.
Indeed. Not sure how much faster that seed would have gotten if Ice Beam was not provided to DCR so late. Those artifacts really made it a lot more difficult, however. Yeah, well done. Alright, let's see if we can get DCR here in an interview for in just a moment. So, if we had Ice Beam immediately as we went to Chozo after getting Tower of Light, and we went straight to Mines, the seed probably could have been maybe hour 15? Something around that time, I'd say. Yeah, if you ever want to pull off this R jump, you gotta turn a little bit more.
Welcome
Hello,
to
DCR.
GG's.
Welcome to the interview.
Thanks.
GG. Well played. No, I think that was really solid showing from you. I think the only thing you might be a little frustrated about was the location of Ice Beam being a bit inconvenient for you.
Yeah, I, I think my main problem with this, I was just full clearing everything, but I don't know. I didn't know what else to do, so.
Yeah, I respected the thoroughness. You know, you never know when something could be out of the way. Although I did think that probably you want to do Tower of Light once you got Wave, but you seem to hold it off or held it off for now.
Yeah. Luckily, you had a very good movement advantage, so you were able to very much keep up, even with the last location of Ice Beam.
Yeah, Link got Tower of Light right after getting Ice Beam, but did proceed to do labs along with Quarantine Monitor and Thardus. So that kind of evened out with the time loss slash time save.
And then for like looking for plasma, because that was go mode, I was like, it could either be in mines or it could be in Fart Fen.
Yeah.
And I picked the right one.
You just did you just flip a coin in your head, or did you think that was just you were leaning more towards that way?
Well, since I was already like coming from Talon, I was like, I'm just gonna do this and do Frigate. I mean, I wasn't gonna do Frigate either, and then I was like, but I mean, there was something there too, so. Oh well.
I see. Okay. Yeah, with Gravity Frigate was very quick. Although I have to ask, I'm wondering why you delayed Thermal by so much to do Thardus without it and or Frigate rather.
Well, because I don't need it, but I was like, you know what,
Fair
it's worth it for the final boss, a little bit. So
That's
why
fair
not?
enough, I suppose.
And it was right there at the end. So
Yeah, routed in well. By the way, I would like to comment on final bosses is that your EXO was very nice. You only missed a couple shots.
also, I didn't intend on getting flyby skip, but
Yeah,
Yes,
that as
that
well.
was one of the questions we had.
As soon as
Sam
you hit
was,
it, I said, "So yeah, no flyby skip," and then I saw Ridley fly below. I was like, "Oh, okay,
Yep, you ate those words pretty quickly.
oh, definitely." That was really cool. A nice little cherry on top to those final bosses. Yeah, I think Ice Beam was the only real wrench, and
Yeah.
Plasma Beam you sort of had to flip a coin. I was in favor of doing Farfen first because you wouldn't ever need to go back there if you didn't have Plasma, but there was a good point made in chat about how would you route in Phazon because that would be a little bit difficult if you were in Fen and you didn't have Plasma and you're in lower mines and you don't have Plasma. You could just go through PPC to get it, so I think that probably would have been too bad.
also the location of Space Jump, I kind of figured Spider was nearby, which it was, but I was like, I'm gonna do this trick because it's cool.
Yeah, it was cool. You know, you didn't even use boost to help you get a little bit more height. So
But I
big
think
props to you. I love that HPG.
I think I was able to route it kind of well with like picking up X-ray because that was really out of the way. Like going
Mhm.
back for that would have been annoying. Also, my intention when I went back to the start, I warped to start on purpose because I was like, oh, there's nothing. Uh, where was it? There's nothing in crash site. I can just go back, reload my save, and go to Magmore from the front. But then, of course, X-ray was there, so like, oh, or whatever was there.
Mm,
What that mean?
right.
That was X-ray.
And for your crash site, yes.
Like, I went for
So,
grapple. I didn't need grapple. Oh well.
yeah. Although you did do the NSJ trick for it, which is kind of neat. Although I bet Maricat was rolling in his grave there when you did that. Man, that was quite well executed.
Yes,
You know?
definitely a great round one from yourself, being able to claim that victory. Again, congratulations.
Certainly. Link is still on the hunt for that plasma. Did Farfandrana, I believe? I want to say that he did, but
I don't believe he went into gravity chamber.
yes. Still not doing lower mines. It is still technically locked by gravity suit, and he is completely unaware of its existence in Watery Hall and does not seem to be confident to do bar skip or frigate without gravity.
Could go in through PPC elevator though.
Oh, that is true. Doesn't seem to be interested in that at the moment. Yeah, I think the ice beam was the only real wrench.
Those two suits being right next to each other was kind of funny to me.
Yeah. Also, with the space jump and phase on suit in the same room, I feel like that's a rare sighting.
Yeah, the early Findrano was definitely loaded with progression.
I also appreciated the bait on the two major bosses being nothing, like just complete useless checks.
Yep. Did. Well, Flogger was relatively fast to get one of the power bombs off to get two of them. I need to learn that setup a little bit better because you can just. It's basically you don't really have to deal with any cutscenes when fighting Flagra.
Yeah, I don't know the second setup, but at least the first one, it just like rolled to the middle.
Yeah, that seems to work fine. I believe Inner Slice has a setup video on it, so you can use that for further research. I am a little disappointed that you didn't pick up Flamethrower, however. It was right there in Lava
I was
Lake.
thinking about it, but
Yeah, I saw you. You were going in between Immortal, like, do I get it or do I don't? And they didn't. I'm pretty sure the whole chat just let out a sigh of disappointment. Poor Flamethrower.
yeah, I think my only thing wasn't happy with my routing was just ice. Like it was right there, and I checked everything else.
Yeah, Ice Beam is the big wrench. Just don't forget about good old Tower of Light. We've had quite a bit of progression there recently. Seems that Randomizer has been favoring progression there ever since we had that now in Logic with expansions.
Yeah.
Yeah. We still have to find Plasma. I'm kind of surprised that Link has not already checked Chapel of the Elders. That was an E-tank, if I remember correctly. Or is that a missile? I can't tell. Wasn't he? Okay. No. Not sure if Link realizes that he can make his way to mines through the back of Magmort. That would be the best way to route this in. We still have Shorelines, Funnel Access, Elite Quarters, Security Access A, and Gravity Chamber to obtain. So, yeah, although it looks like he's making his way to do a warp to start.
Probably going to take the Twin Fires transport, perhaps, for to make his way to mines.
He could do that, but it's definitely faster to just go through the front of Fen.
Looks like he's maybe deciding what to do here.
Yeah, it seems so. So I guess this is going back to Farfen. Not apparently he did some of it, but not all of it. So I'm not sure what he has left to check.
Has Link done Thardus?
Yes. 'Twas nothing, unfortunately. Was quite the debate. Although I did somewhat see the game sort of pointing towards Stardust with that thermal visor. I can understand why you and Link both went for a DCR.
Yeah.
Although, of course, debate.
Oh yeah, how could I forget the defining moment of this race? As soon as I started, I failed SJF.
Oh yeah, that. Don't worry, we completely glossed over it. It wouldn't be a true race without someone feeling it. Trust me, I've done it all the time.
Also, I wasn't sure. There was a change, I think, or I don't know if it's quite unstable for making missile stations like refill PBs. I guess that's not a thing yet.
Not a
No,
thing yet.
that was being discussed primarily for door randos, since PB doors are placed in abundance. You all will get to see that once week 3 comes around. That will be door rando. We will have blast shields and different colored shields. So prepare to see required flamethrowers. I bet everybody will like that. Well, Link really doesn't like the Sheegoth, apparently.
Yep.
This is minding its own business. They look endangered, too. The poor things.
Yeah, so what, we've got about, I think about 10 to 15 more matches in week 1.
Yes, I believe so. We'll actually have one tomorrow, and it's actually going to be me racing Neither Bath, scheduled for 1 p.m. EST. So if you want some more Prime in your life, you can come check that out tomorrow afternoon. Or at least, if it's tomorrow for you. It may be the next day for our European folks. Yes, and you can type in exclamation mark MPR. You can see the bracket schedule. And you can also join the Discord if you want to keep up with the events, or just see the discussion taking place about the tournament in the server. That's where most of everything is being held.
And make sure to follow our runners as well. I know that Dyceron does a lot of randos, speed runs, all sorts of things.
Indeed.
Very
I know
talented
you've
runner.
done all kinds of things, from Prime, Echoes, Corruption, Dread,
Done a
etc.
few things.
Yeah. I think the most recent has been Dread, No Major Glitches, if I remember correctly. Any percent?
For me,
Correct.
no.
No.
All bosses.
Correct me if I'm
unrestricted.
wrong. Ah, okay. Alright, we're finally going to be taking a trip to mines here. Going to be running into plasma soon enough.
Yeah. Hopefully dips down into lower mines instead of clearing the top. That will save a lot of time.
Indeed.
Luckily, nothing we need in upper mines is blocked by plasma, so
Right, we still have an artifact up there.
Also, it wouldn't be a prime race without required OP.
Definitely. I think we've down. I don't think we've actually talked about that, is that just OP was required. Nothing more than that. You know. And plus, I also think that Central Dynamo Plasma was a little bit of a troll. You know, it's just one room, or not one, but 2 rooms away from MQA. It's sort of in the same category as that room.
The nice thing about, well, I guess it doesn't matter which one you do first, but like being where, being in mines, right? Say if Plaza wasn't there, you can easily just go to Findrana right there and continue.
Right. If you ask me, though, I think going to Findrana first was technically smarter play, even if Plasma wasn't there. The way you would likely have routed in would have been. I don't even know which way would have been faster technically, but it wouldn't have lost you really any time. All right, so will we see a dip to Central Dynamo, or will we see going to Upper Mines?
So Link has seen the face on suit, or no?
Yes, Link does have the knowledge that Phazon Suit is in Ice Ruins East. Unfortunately, if you're going for the pirate skip there, you need to be on the farther side of that tank. The trigger extends kind of towards the middle of it, so unfortunately hitting that.
Right. You're also going to need to cross over the trigger at the peak of your height in order to effectively skip the trigger.
Yeah. Well, I was unsure if he was going for the skip or was just trying to climb the room without fighting the. I saw him looking at the vent, so I figured he was heading towards vent shaft.
Yep. We are going to grab plasma very soon, and all that's left is just to grab artifacts and grab hints. Or, excuse me, not hints. Just grab face and suit. Grabbing hints an hour in is echoes. Well, actually, it wasn't vent shaft, just a missile. Maybe more E. Just a missile. If you didn't know, oh, you go.
I tried going for maze skip, but I kind of failed miserably.
Yeah, it's not exactly an easy trick, to say the least. There is a setup, but I mean, it's a setup, but still a hard trick to pull off. It's as consistent as we can get so far. But yeah, I was going to mention you can actually scan the vent shaft fan, and in vanilla it would usually tell you some information about the fan itself, but you can just scan it and it will tell you the item there. So if you're not too sure what it is past all the puffer smoke, you can just give it a scan.
Oh yeah, we should also mention DCR free aimed the super shot on the invisible drone.
Oh yeah, that. I was saying as you were charging up for the super missile that you have X-ray and then you just hit it and I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh okay.
actually a strat I came up with for damageless purposes.
Oh really?
It's safe.
That's interesting. Looks like Link does not know how to feel at the plasma beam, so is deciding to try and break it open using a mixture of power beam shots and missiles. This maze was also really confusing, I should mention.
Yeah.
Is this deterministic RNG? It looks different from when you did it. Or am I trolling?
It's the same.
Okay. It wasn't a good maze, to say the least. I wasn't sure since the actually no, the Zoid RNG was fine. There we go. And that is go mode. Um. Link is just taking a safety save. I was a little confused there. Oh, what? What?
Prepare to be more confused.
Uh,
Hmm.
okay, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I have no idea what the point of this is. This seems incredibly slow.
Yes, you're already in lower mines. You got to get that fungal hall access and the elite quarters check out of the way. Those artifacts, you're gonna have to backtrack for them now, and yeah, that's a lot of time.
That hurts.
Yeah, I maybe Link just realized, oh yeah, Plasma Beam, I can get Phazon suits, so I should just go do that. It's sort of like the ooh piece of candy meme. Ultimately, though, it does not make for good routing.
Unless they forgot, but
That's kind of important. I do write down my hints now because I had the tendency of reading through them too fast and forgetting. And I don't like having to open up my menu to reread them.
yeah, I kind of forgot Gravity Chamber was one of them, but oh well.
Yeah. I am told that, it just doesn't really take that much time to go back and look. But I feel like it's slow and I type down my hints relatively fast. I
So I'm
like
sure-
using acronyms as
I'm
well.
sure you found out about like the artifacts earlier than I did because I never look at them immediately because to me there's no point. Like, it doesn't change anything. So
Eh. Yeah, I like reading them when I have access to a good chunk of areas. If I have wave and ice, I'll tend to read them. If I get wave and plasma or ice and plasma, then maybe I'll check them. It kind of depends. I think reading them immediately is, I don't know, just unnecessary, I suppose. I don't need to know where they are as soon
like
as I get them.
I feel like it might also, since it's so early, if you read it early, it might negatively influence like your decision. Like, oh, I gotta do this because the artifacts are here when
Right.
it doesn't matter.
Routing
So
them
like
in
end
early
game,
on is not. It could jabait you if you're not careful. I know some people do check them in Chozo to make sure that Sun Chamber is not one because some people
that,
like to do it beforehand.
that's valid because getting Flogger done, nice.
Yeah, although I'd argue that it's still good to do it when you come back later because let's say you have Power Bombs, maybe Spider and Supers, you can get Flogger done a lot more quickly. And if you don't have Spider when you go through the first time, it's a little risky unless you know early wilds. And plus, you may have X-Ray and or supers, so fighting ghosts may be easier. I just think even if Sun Chamber is an artifact, you should also consider just going there once you have more stuff to do it quickly. You know, and your reverse flogger was sort of evidence of that, since if you have power bombs, you can trigger all those bomb slots at once if you are go with your positioning, or just looking through a shorter or looking through fewer cutscenes, I should say. Also, additionally, you can skip that death cutscene if you just wait for that to appear up, and makes it a lot shorter since that cutscene lasts for, I don't even know, it's quite quite a long time. I'd say around 40 seconds. I want to say it's 40 seconds. Okay. This intriguing routing. We're gonna get this artifact first, which is not exactly what I expected, but we are also going to grab Phazon suit, and I guess Link is just going to go to Gravity Chamber, or
It feels like an inverse of what I did.
I know, but it's
I
a
mean, I guess this will work out because Link can just go right to mines after this bit, but
It's
Kind of
slower.
unnecessary backtrack.
It's a very unnecessary backtrack.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is maybe if Link's not comfortable with the amount of health he has for OP, the slight, the more damage reduction would certainly help. But
Although based on this, it makes me think that he might have forgotten the artifacts. Maybe now he's realizing in hindsight that this was a lot slower. But no offense to Link, you can see how just taking the time to practice your movement as a whole really contributes to how quickly you can get this done. You know, I also like to mention that Link has had Boost Ball for a while, but has seemed to opted to just walking around.
yeah, that's something that took me a while to remember when I first started getting into racing and going fast. Is that
Yeah.
boosting
If
around
you
is
if you don't know any speed tech and you're not sure about room strats, just boost as much as you can. Plus you have spring balls, so you never really need to unmorph. So grab chamber or PPC? Grab chamber would definitely be faster here. Ooh, green Phazon suit. More of an orange team fan myself.
It's the Xbox suit.
The Xbox suit. No lock on. So I feel like Link would have gone to mines a lot earlier if he had gotten Gravity Suit, because I feel like he wanted to commit to Frigate and go to mines that way. Realized he didn't have Gravity Suit, and then kind of was unsure about where he should go from there. I find it odd that he did not pick that item. I do have to say, DCR, I do want to comment that your NSJ slope jump to get that item, I'm kind of surprised you went for. I think that slope jump's pretty tough. So props to you for getting it so quickly.
Wait, which
But
one?
the
The-
Watery Hall NSJ slope jump to get Gravity Suit. I probably would have ignored that and just played on skipping Gravity the whole seed. But it looks like your play for that made it a lot faster to get through Farfen and Frigate. So note that Link is taking the upper way, but we don't have any more checks here that we need to do because we have everything we need to finish the game. And the lower way leads straight to Gravity Chamber.
What was the
Yeah.
first
So if we-
artifact that Link got?
It was Arbor Chamber. Although it seems like he was a little inexperienced with the wall crawl to do it. Took him a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of fumbled that a little bit too, but
Yeah, I always say if you aren't that confident about doing it, just transition the room. It'll give you a lot better of an idea of where to stand, and you're at less risk of doing a soft lock. I'd say, if you really don't want to transition the room, just get a good idea of where the channels actually are. Alright, we're on our way to Craft Chamber now. And crush the poor gel zaps.
I did have one fear.
Hmm.
When I was trying to climb Frozen Pike, which is a bad room.
Oh, yes.
I landed on the gel zap, and I was like, oh no.
Oh, oh
I kind
yeah.
of panicked a little bit, but I was okay. But
Those
could've been
things
bad.
can annihilate your health if you're not careful.
Oh yeah, I'm aware. I'll never forget a 100% run I did, probably 2015, where I was trying to get the gravity chamber missile with the slope jump, and I fell off and
Oh,
landed
no.
on the gel zap and got hit by the weeds there, whatever, tentacles.
Oh,
And
the vines.
I lost 6 E-tanks and died like in 2 seconds. It was like, oh,
Holy
that's fine.
crap.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Link is doing. He seems
Maybe
very
forgetting
confused
how
on how he's
to-
supposed to navigate this room.
Yeah.
He doesn't have gravity suit either, so he's probably a little worried that the artifact is the lower item. And also only now realizing that the grapple point is in that stalactite. Thankfully, this artifact is the one he wanted to be, because if it was below, he would have to do a bunch of gravityless stuff. Okay. Thankfully, we have everything we need, so the lower gravity chamber can't be anything important.
Well, it could be gravity suit for him, but
That's true. We could have had a vanilla gravity suit, which would have been something.
Actually, I did have a thought cross my mind for like a split second when I was looking for plasma. And I was like, maybe it's vanilla, but I was like, no. Nope.
Yeah, maybe, but
That would have been unfair.
it's a very scary thought. I do remember Link, after grabbing ice, he was heading to Farfen through workstation, and obviously a geothermal core. We were wondering if he was going to take the time to stop to check if it was vanilla, but walked right by it. Okay, gonna be heading back this way, even though it is definitely faster to go the other way.
no reason to go this way.
Yeah. Another thing that will help you a lot is map knowledge when it comes to this game. Link indeed grabbed the artifact.
Yeah, so just the 3 in mines remaining.
Yep. Also, another thing, when you're moving, I recommend holding the L button almost all the time. It is your best friend in this game. You know, learning small movement tech like L jumps, R jumps, maybe some scan dashes really goes a long way. They may not seem like much, but it adds up very quickly. And we have plenty of resources if you're interested in learning, and we also have plenty of help channels if you want to learn prime tricks, or echoes tricks, or even corruption tricks. I think Link is... Nope. I was a little concerned that there was going to be another save warp there. So with DCR, you've secured the win. If I can look at the bracket real quick, do you have an idea of who you might be facing for the next round?
Let me get the bracket up. Can't find it.
Yeah, I believe you're seed 19.
I can't. Where is it? Resources.
Yeah.
Uh,
So we do have a seed 18, Sparkle J, which the match will be, I think, a couple days from now.
there we go.
That may be your future
E20's
opponent.
me, but I don't think I'm winning my race.
Ah, true. We have a lot of players, 39. So,
Where's the
a
bracket?
lot of different people.
Oh, here it is. Challenge. Open my eyes.
Yeah, it appears the bot is still linking to the old bracket. Just posted the current one in chat.
Yep, refer to that if you wish to see what players are involved and who is facing who. However, if you want to know the schedule, once again, exclamation mark NPR. I believe that should show you the most up-to-date one, except for the bracket.
Yes. Oh, and it looks like we've got a forfeit from Link.
Ah, committed for so long as well.
At 2:14, so about 6 seconds we'll see that finish up.
Yep. Let's see if Link is willing to jump in for an interview. It might be that Link plays without the race time room up. I sometimes like doing that because, I feel like I still want to commit to something because I get rather nervous when you just look at the race time room and you just always look back to see if the opponent is ahead of you or has finished already. But yeah, let's see if Link is willing. So I have to ask, while you're still here, Dyceron, how would you rate the seed from 1 to 10? I tend to ask people this.
I know where I went wrong.
Hello, Link.
I put off
Well-
mine way too long.
6 maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As soon as I saw that plasma
Okay.
beam in that location, I was like, I'm gonna shoot myself in the foot if I haven't already done so metaphorically.
Yeah, I'm not. You held it off for a very long time. I wasn't sure what the idea was. After you got it, I wasn't sure why you save warped out because you had 2 other lower minds artifacts that you could have gotten right there and then.
I wanted to get Phazon suit
For
for
what?
that extra defense.
Well, you had, I think, 6, 7 E-tanks. If you asked me, I think that's more enough. But if you're not confident with that, then I understand.
I'm not really confident with that health with just Varia and lower minds because those beam parts, yeah, not to mention OP. I think OP was required with Elite Quarters.
Indeed.
Yeah. Something I do want to mention that was early game was that DCR basically did everything but where Ice Beam was until it ended up being last location, whereas you ended up finding it right after you got Wave Beam, which was the big difference.
Well, I
But
was
DCR's
thinking,
movement was a lot faster, so he managed to actually
Yeah.
get Ice Beam about where you got it.
yeah. I was always thinking that Tower of Light usually has something, progression-wise, whether it be Phazon suit, whether it be a beam, maybe even supers. I've seen it multiple times happen in weeklies. I've seen it happen in past tournaments before as well. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to check Tower of Light. It might be Tower of Phazon, it might be Tower of Plasma. Who knows? Nope, Tower of Ice. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Power of Light's been more common for progression more than ever, really. I feel like it's a very important check to check out. And Ice Beam's been there a lot more than often. I see like Spider Ball, Phazon Suit, Ice Beam, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Even bombs
My
occasionally.
question was because where I saw that, so I saw the 3 or 2 or 3 artifacts in Phazon Mines, and then the artifact in Gravity Chamber hint. I was like, if that's normal Gravity Suit location, Gravity Suit is gonna be required to get out Gravity Chamber.
Well, there is a way you can escape it without it. That
Right,
might be
right.
worth taking some time to learn.
I tried doing that before and it didn't work out.
Yeah.
My question is,
Gravity
where
Suit was
was Gravity
actually,
Suit?
yeah, it was actually in Watery Hall under the poison water.
Yeah. So you
Yeah.
did need to use underwater movement to reach gravity suit, which is interesting.
Indeed.
But it was in logic, so it was
Yeah.
available to
As
you.
soon as I grabbed those space jump boots and what was it? Iceland's East, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. As soon as I saw that phase-on suit in Iceland's East, I was like, where? All right, it's a plasma hunt now. I need to find that plasma beam. And yeah, I was thinking there's a few checks and mines I can do. Because I basically cleared out every other check except for Flogra, and I was like, I hope it's not plant bait. I hope it's not plant bait. So I put off Flogra the whole scene. I was like, I hope this isn't gonna bite me in the ass. Thankfully, it didn't.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah, but
I
DCR
pulled
did a
off a few-
NSJ slope jump pick I grab.
I know I did a few things. I know I grabbed one of the artifacts out of Logic.
Yeah, with
Arbor
Arbor
Chamber.
Chamber. Hmm.
Yeah. And in fact, that was my second time pulling that off.
Yeah. May want to put a little bit more practice with it though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
loading the
did.
room can definitely be beneficial if you're not familiar with the collision.
Yeah, transitioning it just gives you a better idea of where you need to stand, and also helps prevent the risk of soft locking.
Yeah, for a moment there, a few of those moments doing that, I thought I was soft locked. I was like, oh shoot.
Yeah, you had us all on edge there. Yeah, managed to pull through.
Gotta keep it interesting, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, do we have any last comments you'd like to say?
My only question is who ginned that one?
I
I
believe it
got
was
some
Aaron
deep reports of
Explosives.
them. It was Aaron.
Indeed.
Oh,
Go
is there a
suit
way
or
to keep it
telescope.
from ginning other seeds?
Probably not.
Oh, God.
Anything
Yeah.
from your yourself,
Honestly,
Dyceron?
At that point, I would rather play a bash seed.
Yeah, you had nothing to say, Dyceron?
No, not really.
Alrighty.
Maybe I should
I guess we'll wrap
not,
things up
not,
then.
not full clear as much, but oh well.
Yeah, I can understand it. I
Yeah, I
respect
was
it.
basically
Being thorough is
clearing
kind of important.
everything.
Yeah. With that being said, I think that'll be the end of it. Once again, another match yesterday, or excuse me, tomorrow at 1 p.m. EST. If you want more Prime tournaments or Prime tournament matches, excuse me, and expect to see what 13, 12-ish more matches for the next few days. We have a lot suited. Once again,
Yep.
check the bracket and check the schedule.
This first week one was stretched over 2 weeks due to GDQ, but the rest will be 1 week chunks with about 20 races per week. So there will be a lot of Prime going forward.
Indeed. Yep.
Awesome. Well, GG's to the runners again. Thank you for Speed Gaming for hosting us. Give our runners a follow. Thank you, Sam, for co-hosting, and
Yep.
Ivy and Pierre for tracking. All
Yep,
volunteers are
fantastic
appreciated.
job. Thank you all.
All right.
You can also
Cheers.
follow our trackers in the comms. But yeah. See you next mission, folks.